shares of Home Depot actually just reporting. Courtney Reagan joins us right now. She's got the numbers on that. Hey, Court.
Hi, good morning. It's good to be here. So Home Depot did beat estimates by 3 cents for its fiscal third quarter earnings. That's $3.67 on revenues of $40.22 billion. That's also stronger than analyst estimates of $39.32 billion. Now, total comparable sales, those were down 1.3%, but that was much better than the negative 3.3% estimate. U.S. comps down 1.2%. So that marks the 8th straight quarter of negative comps, though the smallest decline in 7 quarters. Now, the home improvement retailer expecting full-year comp sales to fall 2.5%. That's a slight improvement from the previous expectation of down 3 to 4%. And I spoke to CFO Richard McPhail, who said this improvement is, however, due to the better third quarter performance, not a reflection of what they expect to come in Q4. McPhail says the third quarter sales were stronger than expected, thanks in part to warm, dry weather in the U.S., which extended outdoor projects, as well as spending associated with hurricanes Milton and Helene. Now, McPhail said that the homeowners that Home Depot serves are still in this deferral mindset when it comes to big projects. He says, quote, "Our customers continue to tell us that economic uncertainty and higher borrowing costs are on their minds." Also clarifying to say, we don't see trade down, we see deferral. It's not as if projects are being executed at lower price points. But he's still not ready to predict when homeowners' deferral will turn around. Though McPhail did say, quote, "I think the good news is housing turnover may not be able to get any worse. I think the worst of the decline in housing turnover is probably behind us." So very interesting in that, you know, they're still sort of slogging along, but maybe some slight improvement in what they've seen over the last 2 years or so.
I'm just trying to think through, okay, we think the worst of the housing turnover decline is behind us, meaning maybe people will finally start moving again.
Exactly.
Maybe you'll see that
exactly.
Kind of
maybe it will start sort of picking up in that degree, because he talks a lot about the housing shortage and how many of their customers, of course, are staying put. They want to do projects in their home. They believe in the asset and the value in their home. I think he said they've added something like $15 trillion, something. I'm going to mess that up a little bit, but trillions of dollars since 2019.
Right.
But obviously,
post-pandemic, they obviously had a
exactly. But
all these
it's tough to move, and with the interest rates where they are, they're hesitant to start new projects that would require financing.
I guess a lot of that has to do with consumer confidence.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that is going to be measured post-election. If you look at the stock market, I mean, if you look at the stock market, investor confidence is up immediately.
It's so funny.
Translate
to two brains, Becky, the same. I asked him that exact question. I said, now that we're post the election, you've been talking about uncertainty. Is some of that uncertainty gone? He sort of said, look, it's only been 7 days. I don't know that we can quite measure it yet. He didn't really want to go there, but I asked that exact question.
Did he say anything about the potential tariffs and what that might mean for them?
So we asked about that, and he didn't want to reveal the percentage that they source from China. But in the past, when we looked at this a number of years ago, it was not among one of the higher companies. He did note that they do source a lot from North America. To then my follow-up question was, well, then what about Mexico? That seems to be another country a bit in the crosshairs. And he says, you know, we do have a decent amount of sourcing from Mexico, but didn't give us any numbers.
So obviously watching very closely to see what actually comes out.
Exactly.
There's a lot of people who've said take Trump seriously, but not literally.
Exactly.
And so the numbers are going to be the big issue. Which countries get targeted? How much of it is negotiation at first, and then try to bring things back down?
Exactly. What rates will they be? You know, obviously there's some exemptions, right? Sometimes some of these companies can apply for exemptions. That's worked for some of these product categories or companies writ large. So we'll see what happens. But it was an interesting conversation for sure. And I think things are still plodding along, potentially improving a little bit, but still big macroeconomic factors in the way.
Well, there might be nobody left who's down on the stock. In other words, there's no one who's losing money.
Right. I mean, up 18% year to date.
Well, 421, I think there was a print at one point. We're at 418. So if you bought it over 418, you're down. But everybody else in the history of the world it's almost an all-time high. Amazing. And
absolutely.